Right. Now joining our panel right now, we have National Treasurer and Member of Parliament of the Rajya Sabha of the BJP, Piyush Goyal. Joining the panel as well as Ami Yagnik of the Congress Party spokesperson. She's joining us from Ahmedabad. KTS Tulsi, Senior Advocate. Joining the panel on Colgate, TSR Subramaniam, former Cabinet Secretary. Hartosh Singh Bal, Sankarshan Thakur, and Vinod Mehta, and Ajay Bose and Aarti Jairath are with us here in the studio. My first question is to PC Parekh. Navika Kumar is with me. Now, Mr. Parekh, these are fairly serious charges which you have against you. Now, let me not beat around the bush. My question to you is, did you meet Mr. Parekh Kumaramangalam Birla sometime in 2005, after which an earlier decision of the screening committee was overturned and this company, Hindalco, was accommodated along with the other two? Did you meet Kumaramangalam Birla? Where did the meeting happen? Why did it happen? And was it not an abuse of your position as the CBI has charged against you?
Yes, I confirm that this meeting took place. This meeting took place in my office. It took place because Mr. Birla wanted to make a representation in regard to the allocation of Talabira 2 blocks to Hindalco. He made a representation that screening committee decision has not been fair to the company because they were the first applicants for this block and they were as eligible as Neyveli Lignite Corporation, and therefore screening committee decision needs to be reviewed.
No, but you did not go only by Mr. Birla's contention. You are saying and you are admitting that Mr. Birla had the Prime Minister's office's backing. Are you saying that, and can you tell me if that is true?
No, I am not saying that he had a backing. All that I am saying is that Mr. Birla also made a representation to Prime Minister, and that representation was also forwarded to my ministry for examination and resubmission.
No, one second. Don't dilute what you're saying. You have said the PMO saw merit in Birla's comment and asked you to re-examine the case. So if the Prime Minister's office had not found merit in what Kumaramangalam Birla was saying, you wouldn't have met him and the case wouldn't have changed. Obviously, there was some pressure being put.
Sorry, I didn't say that the PMO saw some merit and asked me to re-examine. PMO simply forwarded their application for re-examination and resubmission. It was, in my judgment,
Well, I have
against the Prime Minister, nor have I made a request that he should be investigated. What I have said is that decision which was taken in this case was a fair and correct decision. My recommendation, I feel, was correct and fair to both the companies, and the same was approved by the Prime Minister. I am not finding fault with the Prime Minister for approving that decision.
No, 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 sir, you don't. Sir, are you under pressure?
No,
are you under any pressure?
I was under no pressure, and
I am.
Are you
now
also,
under any pressure?
No, I am also now not under any pressure. This decision.
No, because you have said, and I have you on court saying, you have said that if the CBI thinks there is the conspiracy, why did they choose and select Mr. Birla and me and not the Prime Minister?
Yes, I'm coming to that.
If the conspiracy is there, then everybody is part of the conspiracy.
I am coming to that. So my point is that in my understanding, that decision was not wrong decision, and it was a fair and correct decision in favor of both the parties.
That may be your
now,
view, not the
if
CBI
this is my view,
that may be your view.
Exactly.
No,
if CBI thinks
says there's a conspiracy.
That's what I am saying. If CBI thinks that there is a conspiracy, then conspiracy has to be between everybody who is a party to this decision. And
who is everybody, sir? Why are you going? Why don't you be direct with me? Who is everybody?
I am very clearly saying that the three parties to decision are Mr. Birla, who made a representation. The second party is me, who examined this and made a recommendation. And the third party is the Prime Minister, who took a decision. So if CBI thinks that there is a conspiracy, then all the three needs to be investigated.
Well, fine. That's the point. So, Ami Yagnik, you know, this puts the Congress party pretty much in a dock here. But I'll get Piyush Goyal in before I come to you. So, Piyush Goyal, where do you see the story developing out here? The Congress party, by the way, says these matters are sub judice. They should not be discussed right now. People should exercise caution in what they say in response to what Mr. Parikh said.
I've been reflecting, Arnab, a little bit on what's happening. And I'm very worried about this stance of the government, where A, they're trying to shoot the messenger, the whistleblower who first brought to fore the important aspect of the growing demand for coal, starting from somewhere early 2004, the fact that coal prices were on the rise worldwide, and there was an urgent need to address the increasing applications around that time to have a transparent process which was suggested to be auction.
Yeah.
In that period, Mr. Parikh was the one lone voice who came up with the concept, who argued the case. The government, I think today, is using the CBI to try and put Parikh in the dock and a very reputed person like Mr. Kumar Mangalam Birla. They are picking up the soft spot, the case where there is hardly any case to attack, and trying to deflect from the bigger scam where hundreds of blocks were given to cronies.
You still say this despite the fact that the CBI has filed charges against Vijay Datta and even named Naveen Jindal. If it wanted to go slow or protect anyone, would it not protect these congressmen?
This is a clear case where they are finding the whole process having been vitiated. The screening committee has been demonstrated to be vitiated around 2007, 8, 9. Examples are given of Rampia, of Fatehpur. They are trying to deflect from the real scam
No, but will they question the Prime Minister? Will they name the Prime Minister? Can they afford to name the Prime Minister in the FIR?
Every step
That's the question.
Arnab, how long can they go not examining the Prime Minister? They seem to be getting closer and closer and closer
you think
to
so?
him.
What do you think? Hartosh, what do you think?
Look, I think there is some merit to what Piyush Goyal is suggesting. If proper procedural practices are not being followed in this case, then you are leaving open a lacuna for the court to come back and tell you what are you doing with the investigation. So there are questions, we have to raise serious questions about how CBI is investigating this case, who it is indicting, and if the trail does lead to the Prime Minister, why has he been left out in this case?
Mr.
And
Parag,
Kumaramangalam Birla, can I just say also, is a friend. I mean, can I say this? Is a friend of the Congress party. He's not hostile to the Congress party. So there is no reason why the CBI should pick on Kumaramangalam Birla.
No, the question here is we are discussing what Mr. Parekh has said. I think what Mr.
The point which you are raising is very relevant. Because I think we need to also see how long can the Prime Minister escape scrutiny. Because we are slowly but surely heading to a situation where the Prime Minister's responsibility in this entire thing, he must have been in the know.
Is there an attempt to fix the whistleblower? One second. Do we believe here, do we believe, Sankar Shen, that Mr. Parekh is the whistleblower? And that there is an attempt to fix the whistleblower out here?
And make him an accused before he becomes a witness.
And put the pressure on him, make him an accused? You know, so he's forced to backtrack.
It's difficult to judge, Arnab. It's an allegation. But the point is, he was an officer at the time who was opposing the way things were being done. And as everyone's saying, even in the JPC, we saw Prime Minister saying, I am ready to come, I am ready to come. His party saying, no need for him to. The Prime Minister has been shielded for far too long on very probing issues and on critical questions. And, things are moving in a direction where it will become untenable for the Prime Minister not to speak out personally. And nobody should question my integrity kind of question.
It's like attacking a reporter. It's like attacking a reporter for doing a wrong story and not going after the editor.
That's well said.
No, I completely agree that the Prime Minister cannot escape scrutiny. But I'm really curious about the government's thought processes here. Look, if the CBI plans to file a case against a reputed industrialist like Kumaramangalam Birla and a former senior bureaucrat, a former
Corruption Act. It says abuse of authority, but abuse of authority